Chapter 29 3-year-old couple 13. Nan Hoa once again joined the crew of a new film, and Hwang Tae-kyung and the others' new album was about to be released. The only news that can be seen is the occasional paparazzi photo of Hwang Tae-kyung visiting Yoo-hee, or Yoo-hee coming to Hwang Tae-kyung's company, seemingly visiting her boyfriend. What makes fans most excited is the rare day when someone randomly sees these two people wearing masks, their fingers intertwined, walking around the mall. They were not high-profile in their love, but they were never secretive either. They just returned to their own lives and enjoyed their own little lives. Nan Hoa felt that their current state was just right. The two of them were each busy with their own careers, and when they were separated, every day no matter how busy they would video chat on time, sometimes telling each other what happened that day, sometimes simply arguing with each other to their detriment. Every day, the other party's tiredness, happiness, annoyance, and excitement would all be felt by each other, without needing to say it, but because they had gradually gotten to know each other, they could easily discover it. Whenever a person has free time, they will visit each other, even if it is just to accompany him/her to work. When the two people have free time, they either stay at home or go out together to travel and stroll, or they call friends to get together. They quarrel often, but it seems that there has not been any real anger yet. Both of them are arrogant, but they will completely reveal their softest side to each other when they pay their respects. But, life is not always smooth sailing. Go Min-nam has always been looking for his own way out. He deeply knows that his current situation is in dire straits. At the beginning, he wanted to be like his younger sister, hitting on them, especially Kang Shin-woo, who liked beauties, was the first person he planned to contact. But later, he discovered that no matter if it was Shin-woo or the innocent Jeremy, they both had barriers and distance towards him. Needless to say, the team leader himself was not easy to approach, and during this period of time, he had been in a hurry to fall in love, and had no chance to get close to him at all. Min-nam released his own single, trying his best to perform in the places he could, but he found that no matter how hard he tried, the director's attitude always seemed ambiguous. His heart was always hanging, very afraid that one day he would wake up and suddenly be told that he was no longer useful, and his name would be erased from the group Angel. Such a life is too torturous, especially compared to Tae-kyung, who is happily and openly in love. Until one day, he met Moo Hwa-lan, a former famous star, who was said to be his father's friend. The other party seemed very excited to see him, and had a great liking for him, and also mentioned him and his beautiful mother. He didn't know how his mother passed away, but the other party expressed guilt and said he wanted to give him half of the family fortune, so he half believed it. More importantly, he saw his own opportunity. Nan Hoa, through her own efforts a little bit to get the director group's approval, finally got a big production, female lead from a famous director film. From a month ago before the rehearsal started, dense high-pressure work has not stopped for a moment. Today at midnight, she with great difficulty finished the performance back to the hotel, but saw a big black shadow in front of her room door. They were startled. The agent was afraid that it was some kind of anti-fan and blocked her behind. She still saw the familiar clothes and walked over without bothering to persuade her. Only then was she surprised to discover who the other party was. Hwang Big Head? You came, why didn't you tell me? She was angry and heartbroken. The great cold heaven was still standing at the door. Quickly ran to help the person up. Hwang Tae-kyung heard the sound and raised his head, his eyes were red, his voice was hoarse, "Fairy." The agent saw that the situation was not right, quickly ran to help them open the door, gave Nan Hoa a look and then left. She dragged the person into the room, placed him on the sofa, and immediately poured a cup of warm water to warm his cold hands. What's wrong? What happened? Don't scare me. He put down the cup of water, hugged the person tightly into his chest, his head resting on her shoulder, not moving for a long time. She felt her neck wet and warm. He actually cried. Her heart was heavy, not knowing what exactly could make the proud Hwang Tae-kyung so sad. For a long time, the other person slowly raised his head. His emotions calmed down a bit, he raised his head, and saw her red eyes, with tears on her face. "Fairy. What's wrong with you?" Nan Hoa was so angry that she punched him hard. "You came here so late at night, without saying anything, you scared me to death. Hwang Taekyung's heart, which had been in pain all day, suddenly stopped hurting. He wiped away the remaining tears for her, and even smiled. You idiot, what are you crying for? She also heavily helped him wipe away his tears. In the future, if you are uncomfortable, don't come find me. If you don't say a word, do you know that people will worry about you? I will turn a blind eye. His cold heart suddenly felt warm water, warm to the point that he discovered that the long-term suffering was actually nothing. He smiled against her forehead. Fairy, it was my fault. Once again the two sat together. Hwang Taekyung started from the beginning, talking about his mother's affairs. I have been allergic to seafood since I was little, but she didn't seem to remember. One time, she rarely came home, and even agreed to take me out to eat. When I was little, I really looked forward to having dinner with my mother, and I really treasured this opportunity, and wanted to perform well. That way, she could stay at home for a longer period of time. So even when I saw her order seafood for me, in order to make her happy, I still ate it. The allergic reaction was very serious. I felt so uncomfortable that I coughed, and even wanted to vomit. I thought she would feel sorry for me and take care of me, but the truth was, she looked disgusted and hurried me to go to the toilet to throw up, and didn't need to throw up in front of the guests and embarrass her. Nan Hoa held his hand. Hwang Taekyung lowered his body, slowly lying on her thigh, face pressed against her small belly, on his hand and her 10 fingers clasped, continued to say, Daddy gave me a little rabbit. When I teased it, the rabbit bit me, and bled. At that time she happened to be at home. I raised my hand and ran towards her crying. She hurriedly wanted to go out on a date. To me said, who gave you the thing? Find him to cry. Daddy went to act. I raised my hand. A person was scared and cried until the nanny aunt returned. She heard it and was heartbroken. No wonder that day on the mountain, she helped him to ho-ho. He was stunned for half a day. Lowering her head, she kissed him, tears falling on his cheeks. I wish I could go back to that time, comfort our scared little Taekyung. He used his knuckles to wipe away her tears, smiling. He has received. Half a year ago, she started looking for me several times, hoping that I would recompose her first love's love song, be her son, and let her and her unforgettable first love compose a song. She even forgot about my seafood allergy, my birthday, and used every means to force me to compose a love song for them. 2 days ago, I saw her and Minam eating together, talking and laughing, an appearance I had never seen before, just like she was Minam's mother. When I was young, I had hoped that she would accompany me to eat a meal like this, but it never happened. Until today, I just found out the reason. Go Minam's father was the man she had wanted for more than 20 years. What a pity, this man deeply loved his wife, but she created a misunderstanding between them, causing Go Minam's mother to die. And that song was not written for her at all, it was Go Minam's father who wrote it for Go Minam's mother. How ridiculous. I waited for so many years for my mother. Not only did she not love me, she was also a third party who ruined people's feelings. Nan Hoa hand touched his side face, not too fond of him like this cold expression, no need to smile like this. She is her, you are you are really good. He turned his face over. I am not miserable, really, Fairy. Originally very miserable, a person sitting in the room door time, as if all the darkness had swallowed him alive, only felt the endless pain in the heart. But seeing her worry, because of heartache for him that tears flowed down, suddenly felt those discomforts all like the tide receded. Raised his hand, come here, Fairy. Nan Hoa bowed her head, what are you doing? Hwang Taekyung wrapped his arms around her neck and pulled her down, facing her eyes, sincerely saying, thank you. Finished speaking, kissed her lips. She relaxed her body, slowly closed her eyes. She did not understand Mu Hualan, but she saw that Mu Hualan had a huge influence on Hwang Taekyung. Even his bad expression, his hypocritical, sensitive and arrogant personality were all left behind by his childhood living environment, his fear of being hurt and protecting himself. Such a person who was only responsible for giving birth never fulfilled any responsibility, and even had to let the child carry away the negative influence of his mother. She did not feel that he should forgive his mother, wanting to let go of the grudge. Therefore, after confirming that Hwang Taekyung was indeed not affected by this and his mood began to slowly recover, Nan Hoa did not mention this topic again, and of course did not go find Mu Hualan to help them reconcile mother and son. Huang Taekyung naturally also did not need it. Tonight, not knowing whether he finally said all the things he was worried about, or there was someone listening to him say all his sorrows, he was truly freed from the self-imposed bondage of his childhood longing for his mother's love, completely letting go of the worries in his heart these past few years. Huang Taekyung stayed in Nan Hoa film crew for 2 days. These 2 days, Nan Hoa was so busy that she almost didn't have time to worry about talking to him in the film crew, but Huang Taekyung just like that stayed by her side patiently watching her for 2 days. In the film crew's other people's eyes, Huang Taekyung looked at Yu-hee's eyes, emitting light, carrying full of love. And Huang Taekyung just discovered, seriously up fairy, also beautiful, to make him unable to take his eyes off. At night, returning, Nan Hoa often wanted to accompany him to talk a lot, but the two of them lay on the bed, talking, she just because too tired accidentally fell asleep. Huang Taekyung also did not have no mercy. When she fell asleep, he did not hold back and released all his feelings, kissed her eyes, nose, lips, was heartbroken and happy, then just like that hugged her slowly slept. 2 days later, Huang Taekyung left the film crew, returned to the team to prepare for their performance. Because of Mo Hualan, Huang Taekyung and Go Mi-nam's relationship became even colder, but these two people of his age were not willful people. Moreover, Huang Taekyung actually felt guilty towards the Go Mi-nam siblings, even though he himself was the victim.